everybody, and welcome to another episode of the TheCivShow podcast, where we suck so you don't have to. I'm your host, MoySauce.
Razing Zozo.
And Nystagmus.
And we have special guest, Princess Peppermint Butler, here today with us. Princess Bubblegum. How's it going, buddy?
It's going great. Thank you for having me. How are you guys doing?
We're doing okay. We're a little jealous over here, though. I think we're a little jealous. You know, you got this little like purple check mark recently. You know,
I don't know what's up with that. I think cartel connections possibly. We're thinking Illuminati is another distinct possibility. You know?
I'm legally not allowed to say, but that's all I'll say.
His secret is that he somehow combined the hot tub meta into
the hot tub meta, dude. Yes.
Here's a secret. Hot tub playing Minecraft while reviewing YouTube reaction videos. That will get you there in no time. Absolutely no time.
The meta.
Take it.
The meta. It's layered
take it
like
from
an
a Twitch
onion.
partner.
I can't bash YouTube reaction videos anymore because I make them myself.
No. You have. You have to react to YouTube videos. You know, like the you laugh, you lose.
Yes, I react to Civilization 6 updates that are on YouTube.
Yeah, I know they're good. I watch them. You laugh, you partner.
Oh, okay. I laugh, I partner. That's a good one. I should type. Okay, new video. I laugh, I partner. There we go.
Yeah.
Write that down. So let's talk about our recent games, Peppermint Butler. We had a couple of games that both ended in 1 week time. The first one being you were at Georgia. Who was I? I was Maya. That's right. And then Zozo was Spain, and Nystagmus was Mapuche. Let's start with Nystagmus and Mapuche, all alone in South America.
I'm pretty sure that entire game was a dumpster fire that I've deleted from my brain permanently.
But what happened? Like, why did you have such bad production? You start in South America. There's tons of jungles, so many things to chop down. You got work ethic. What happened?
I didn't build a lot of
You stole it.
Actually, that was kind of. I looked back on it. I was like, oh wow, I didn't build any.
Zoe, how do you feel that he took your work ethic and he didn't even build holy sites?
He didn't even need it. It was a spiteful Nystagmus move. You could replace the word spiteful with, but it'd be more malicious. A malicious spitefulness
I'm gonna
intended to crush one's soul. It's called a Nystagmus.
I'm gonna go with Sharks' defense of my play. Mapuche needs somebody to kill. I didn't have anyone to kill, so you're welcome to everybody.
Basically, I set the stage because I started as Spain in Africa. I set the stage down in Africa, well, Northern Africa, and
nice.
Everything went wrong. I took the desert folklore to get that nice adjacency bonus from the desert. But then a freaking barbarian scout came out of nowhere because I wasn't obeying the laws of scouting and went on to my holy site. So I was a turn away from building the project. And then, that happened. And I couldn't get rid of it for 3 turns. And then the moment that I did it and I finished it, I got my religion. But it was too late because Nystagmus, I think 2 turns beforehand, had stolen it with Stonehenge, and he took freaking work ethic.
Yes.
So I'm here, and I'm forced. I'm forced to suddenly pivot. So I take the international trade one, but I'd already taken Void Singer, right? So like I just kept making all of these mistakes. Oh no, it wasn't Void Singer. I took Hermetic Order for the adjacency bonus. So I had a bunch of useless faith. That I didn't end up getting the work ethic, and I had all this stuff for trade, but I didn't take Alza Minerva, and there's lots of city-states to trade with, and I just didn't use Spain's abilities properly, and I declared peace with Peppermint Butler, and that was it. That signed it. That signed it when I declared.
I took vampires anticipating I would have to go to war with somebody, and then I didn't go to war with anybody.
Nobody went to war.
And
then the rest is history.
And then Peppermint Butler all alone in South Africa, playing debatably one of the worst civs in the game. Even after the changes, people think that she's still the worst. Peppermint Butler, please give your opinions on Tamar. There's a couple people in chat that would love to hear your opinions on Tamar.
So I was playing. I think she's really strong to like fuel a Grandmaster's Chapel sort of push. Like you build your Kevsters and you do some early domination or like early mid game domination. Get a bunch of faith there because the Kevsters are quite strong. I was going into that game fully intending on killing someone, killing my neighbor.
Would have been Zoe.
But I had a decent amount of land. But then the beginning of the game, if you'll remember, I got forest fired. There was I had a ring of rainforest going through my capital and around, and 2 forest fires started around, and it just kept circling and hitting my capital, and it delayed my first settler like by 10 turns. The yields were crazy, if you guys will see, but
wait. Was that you mean the soul crushing tornado? Because you were basically like, that's it. I lost. I'm out. I lost.
Oh yeah. No, I had the forest fires. The forest fires were making it awful, and then a tornado, a tornado spawned, and I was like, "Oh no, the tornado was second game." But I did have a tornado.
Was the second game, yeah, for Maya. Yeah. We're not there yet. Hold on.
Mixed my games up.
But I will be pretty honest. I used a total of I think 0 of Georgia's abilities.
You got a golden age every time. That's her ability.
Yeah.
That's her.
That is her. That's like literally all Georgia is.
I think even without her ability, I think I would have hit every golden age even without. But just because
I'm just so awesome that I would have done it.
No, whatever matter. I need Georgia.
I don't know.
You guys suck.
That's not what I meant.
That's not what you meant, but it's what you said. It doesn't matter.
No, it's because my start ended up being absolutely ridiculous after I had a bunch of 5/5 tiles in all of my opening cities because of the forest fires. After I finally got a settler out, but yeah, I just went Vortzingers. Like I had Sacred Path, I had a bunch of nice holy sites. I had good campuses still too. Had good production. It was like my land was real
How did you
good.
have good campuses? You didn't have any mountains, right? Did you?
I had a few mountains in the south, and then I did some. I forget if I did government plaza campuses, but there's some reefs and stuff too. Like I had, and then like I kept all the rainforest, so I had like a couple +2 campuses just because of rainforest and stuff. So, but then I just got like a ton of faith because of Sacred Path and adjacencies and simultaneum and stuff, and then Void Singers just give me a bunch of stats. Void Singer's really good.
Have you ever won a game that fast? A culture game? 103. Turn 103 Peppermint Butler.
On online speed?
That's true. It is online speed. But 103 Peppermint Butler?
Yeah, online speed, I think that translates to approximately turn 206 on standard speed.
Sure.
So yes. But on online speed, that's by far the fastest I've ever got. But that's mostly because I don't play a lot of online speed. But that being said, I don't think I could I feel like it'd be really hard to get faster than that. That was
we were all impressed by your 500 science, 600 culture, 500 gold per turn, and 500 faith per turn by turn 100.
I was a little impressed.
Yeah,
it's like let's just have 5/5s in all your opening cities. Like that's what happens. That's what happens. Just have 5/5s. They all laugh at me. It's just 2 3s. 2 3s are overpowered. 2 3s are overpowered if you get them in your early cities. Kids, build your 2 3s.
2 3s.
Don't build
Zoe
your 2
doesn't know
3s.
what this means. Zoe's like,
what's
a 2 3?
2 food, 3 production tiles. If you have those in your capital in like within the first like 40 turns, your game's already won. Like you can't lose.
2 food, 3 production. You can't lose. All right,
can't
noted.
lose.
We call that
lose.
the what is that? The pheasant bonus, because that was in Civ 2. That's what a pheasant gave you. Two.
Yeah, do you remember that far back?
Maybe it was Bison gave you that. I remember there was one specifically. It was 2 food and 3 production. It's like, yeah.
And if it's and if it's more than 2 3, like if you have like 5 5/5s in every city, like
yeah,
like that's pretty good. It's pretty
Five
good.
five fives. Okay.
555s.
I
Yeah.
started in a desert with Spain.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any of that.
Honestly, like you
that's
said,
why I lost.
yeah, you said you honestly, yeah, like I saw your land. I was like, if I got this start, I would have screamed for a new start. So
Zoe does not
World.
complain about starts.
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
just play where I start. It's just what it is. Maybe now that it happens more frequently, but like I've watched some streamers, they'll restart the game like 6 or 7 times. I'm like, I don't know. Does it have to be that good a start?
I don't do that. I don't do that as much anymore.
As much like that start yesterday with Canada where you had that amazing wonder there. Yeah, no, not like
Yeah, that was pretty good. But I had Rome.
Hey, we're
I
getting
had
raided.
Rome as my immediate neighbor, and we just became really good friends. And we had beautiful trade routes, and we're both really happy, and we'll be friends forever. So yeah.
So you heard it, guys. If you want to win at Civ, you just need a 5-5 start. Okay.
555 starts. You
5-5-5
starts.
start. 5-5-5 or 3-2. 5-5-5 or 3-2, and you win the game. Okay, that's all you need. That's all I can tell you. 5-5-5, 3-2.
Speaking of 5-5-5-3-2s, on the second game, Peppermint Butler, there was a 3v1. Zoe, myself, Nystagmus, the TheCivShow, the we suck and we don't have to crew versus you, the god, the literal god. And don't squint at me, dude. This is real talk here. You're laughing. I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. Do you hint a sense of kidding in my voice? No. This is my serious face, okay? This is my serious face. 3v1, Peppermint Butler. Our job was to kill you. We couldn't take one city away from you. What were you doing over there in Maya? You're playing Maya. Well, actually, yeah, we should probably talk about who we're playing. You were Maya. I was... Who was I? Who was I?
You were the Ottomans. We can go through, but I have one.
And the Nystagmus was Camir.
Right. I have one major reason why. But you can go through, but I'll reveal it. And ultimately, it was Zoe was right. Is the ending of that story? But we'll go through the settings of the game if you would like first.
Well, the settings of the game was basically, Peppermint Butler picked 3 civilizations for every single person. So he picked 3 civilizations for me. He picked 3 civilizations for Zoe, for Nystagmus, and for himself. So we all got to choose, not all of us, but I got to choose out of those 3 civs. It was Germany, Ottomans, or some irrelevant thing I wasn't even thinking of. Zoe got, I don't even remember who you played. Zoe.
Russia, Korea, or Norway.
Nystagmus got Kumai, Persia, Gran Colombia, I think it was.
No, it wasn't Gran Colombia. He would have.
It wasn't Gran Colombia.
No, you had Germany was one of yours as well.
Yeah, Germany and Ottoman. It was the 2 I was debating, and then Peppermint Butler. We had to choose between Vietnam, Gaul, and Maya.
And the Maya.
And so we took Maya because Maya at least falls off their defensive bonus, whereas the Vietnamese and the Gauls, like, there's no way you're invading their land. There's no chance. So
yeah,
the only chance we had was with the Mayans. So what did you do with the Mayans that were just like so mind bending that you've defeated 3 opponents all trying to attack you at once? Human opponents, mind you.
So I just tried to get my stats up early, tried to hit a timing like. So the thing with that I was trying to do is get to a point where it'd be tough to like where I just had more stats and more economy than people, sort of like and more production, so I could just get more units and defend. Because it got to the point where you guys had more units, but my units tended to be more like advanced, I guess. Because I also had high culture, because Colosseum is Great Wonder. But the main reason why that game went the way it did is because the map was too big.
Like we played a small map, right? Like a 6-player map over 4 players.
Played tiny.
Right.
Yeah, played small. And he was just too far away. I don't think it would have mattered if we were aggressive. It's reinforcements would be too far away. And then where Moy started, you know, he was on the opposite side of me, so he's even further away. Maybe if I had chosen Norway, I could have crossed the sea there, and we
that
would have
map
been
was
able to.
also that map was
there
also
was
just super awkward too. Like it was
bottleneck. Yeah, and Khmer is not
I would have gotten my culture
leading a fight. Yeah, he's not leading a fight with Khmer.
So I will say though, if we continue that game, that game ultimately ends up in your guys' favor, because like my land. No, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you how. Nystagmus played super well and was eventually going to win a culture victory. He hadn't even hit flight yet.
Yeah.
Secondly, my only out to actually win that game was to kill Nystagmus, and I had tank cores on his border, but he was 5 turns away from tanks, or 5 turns away from steel, and my tanks. And my tanks were not going to push into steel walls, and I didn't have the production or the gold to back that army up as much. I didn't have as much oil. This isn't BBG where you can build military academies and get oil for free. I was going to settle a city that had. Yeah, that's the thing in BBG. But I was going to settle a city that had 3 oil, but then like after seeing the VOD, Zoe already had units there, so that wasn't going to happen. So what happens later on in that game is like me and Zoe were locked in like an even science naval war for a long time. And then I was having to look at other fronts too, with Zoe's land units and Moy coming across the ocean to try and grief me on the other side.
That was by the way.
Yeah,
dude, it took like 20 turns across the ocean.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Which is another big weakness of Ottomans, actually. Like Ottomans are super powerful, but if you don't hit their timing, they can fall off pretty quick. So if you don't have like a neighbor that you're killing, then like they don't have a whole lot else going on. Though like their Janissaries like can scale pretty well because they're strong units in and of themselves, and you can get a lot of them, and then you can get their unique governor to get +10 against cities. So they still manage to do pretty well. Past their normal timing as a Renaissance unit. But what eventually happens that game is you have like Nystagmus making 2,000 faith per turn, who had built Grandmaster Chapel. He has a he puts a unit on every tile, and like I try and attack through, but like it takes a turn, like online speed. That's a lot. Costing a turn before you get to a city, like that's a big deal.
Really true.
Like that's a big deal. Like you just
scouts on every tile.
My most prideful moment that entire war when we first started it was I purposely moved a unit into the water to attack you amphibiously because I knew that the tank couldn't attack me back because you didn't have range. That was my favorite moment. I was like, yes, I did it and it didn't die, and then I can promote it, and then I can attack it still amphibiously because the tanks can't attack it back.
Outbrained PB, dude. Nice job. Nice work.
So what ultimately happens there is, like, just to close the loop on that, what ultimately happens is my push got stalled. I can't push into Nystagmus. I can't interact with Nystagmus anymore. I don't have a win con because Zoe has still been like me and Zoe we were the ones who were like really going at it that game, and like Moy was basically like forcing me to also defend other fronts as well. So I was like limiting what I could do with my gold and my production. And like it was good. My gold production, science, culture, it was pretty good that game. But I was pretty happy with how I played. But my land beyond where I'd settle was not good.
You were in tundra, right?
My capital had tundra and desert in it, I think. But we rolled enough times.
That was like the third start.
I'm playing it. I've got hills. I've got hills. I found plantations. I'm playing it. I just want to play it, and it turned out pretty okay. But ultimately, with Zoe and Moy, we get locked in this war for the rest of the game, and I have to focus on units and stuff, and then Nystagmus just sims out and eventually wins that culture victory and gets 20 tourism per city with his Persats, and basically goes uncontested on that. So that's how that game ultimately ends. So I think we called it a draw, but I called it a draw. But as it goes, I think you guys take that. Like
We
and it's
can't.
probably
No, there's
not
no
close.
way. You were killing all of my units incredibly quickly. I think you're killing Zoe's units. You had this like huge naval battle
We
with
had a
Zoe,
big
which is like a
naval
big
battle.
That
highlight,
was
right?
a
Yeah.
sweet naval battle. That was I love naval warfare, and
It's
like
good,
that was a
eh?
good one.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is just like that map was too big. I thought I thought if we went on a tiny map, it would just end up being like like everyone is just next to me and they send like 3 warriors at me and I can't really do anything and it wouldn't have been much of a game, and I was just like terrified of that happening. But the small map was too big, and compounded on that was the fact that there was this giant sea in the middle, which made it even more awkward. So yeah, but like it was a super fun game. I had a lot of fun playing it. I really like playing New Maya. I'm gonna play a game on stream with them really soon. I haven't done that yet, but they feel real
Like I
strong,
said,
and I
TMR, I really like them.
yeah
I was like really happy with them.
So Kamai, I played Science Victory with old Kamai with Void Singers and Heroes and Legends before the patch, and then after the patch, after Kamai got buffed, and like I played a really good spawn there too, like pre-patch, like oh like I only play good spawns on my stream, like, I'm such a baby, I'm such a baby. I just roll spawns like oh this one looks like godly, this is the one I'll play. And then so I played a really good spawn there too, and I think the Science Victory there was turn 186, which was fast. Like old J, I'm one of the believers in old J. If you lean into J, and I had Void Singers, like it was all Void Singers is really powerful, but like I leaned
Yeah.
really hard into his abilities, still building like holy sites and aqueducts and all that stuff. Now, new J, I turned off all game modes. Gave myself a God spawn again, and so there's no Void Singers, there was no Heroes and Legends, so no Hercules for free spaceports, no free stats from your faith.
Mhm.
And that was a turn 179 Science Victory.
Shut up, dude. Get
Wow.
Yeah, so
Div math.
so
Div
that
math.
was so yeah, new
The way
Kamai.
I found it
Yeah.
was so what happened for me was, so everyone knows like my play style, and you don't have to emulate it because obviously it's not a good play style necessarily, but I like to use domestic trade routes to grow cities before I move them foreign trade routes, right? But
Mhm.
this Civ was like, I didn't need to do that. Like they're just growing by themselves without any help from me. So I could just use all the trade routes to kind of just go to the city states, and so I was getting a bunch of extra gold too.
Yep.
One of the reasons why I wasn't like everyone was like not building units and stuff was I was feeding Moy and Zoe the entire time.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know,
sure.
like,
Blame
bankrupt
us.
myself.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, that was part of my thing.
We
Okay,
were.
we talked
Big
before.
carry,
I thought
the big
one of us was
carry.
going to sim, right? I thought one of us was going to sim,
Yeah,
and then the
yeah,
other
yeah.
two were going to distract Peppermint Butler. And
That's
since
what
you guys
happened. You were the
Mhm.
you
sim.
didn't tell anybody who was going to do what, and then I just saw you guys just send units towards. I'm like, okay, I guess I've been elected the person who's going to sim, and it makes sense because I was the city
Void
that
Singers,
that
best
should
to sim. Best to sim.
right.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
I
for real.
found myself like I had extra gold all the time because I didn't need to use domestic trade routes to build cities. I would only use them for the first round, maybe if I needed the extra production. But as soon as you get like as soon as you take Volt Singers and you get the God Obelisk, that's possibly like the most powerful special early building in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good. Everything about it, dude. The faith, the culture, and the great work slot. You can put
Yeah.
anything in there. Oh
Anything.
my god.
Anything will go
Anything.
into.
Oh, relic, no
Man.
problem. Hero relic, no problem.
Yeah,
Great
and
work.
I don't know if you guys
Writing,
noticed. I just started
Put it in
spamming great people at the end because I had the Obelisk. So I used my theater squares and stuff, right? But then I can use the Obelisk for like the other great works that I didn't have a slot for, and so I was just spamming great people at the end there with all my faith to build up my cult, my tiers.
Yeah. Those can hold great works of music too, which are like the best ones. And it's like Apadana lull. Here's my monument.
Okay, PB, I have a very important question for you. Who do you think would win in a culture victory between Zoe and Nystagmus? If they only had culture victory turned on.
It depends who they're playing. Depends who they're playing. Nystagmus with Kamai, like I don't know.
Let's
We've seen
say
that in
they're
action.
both playing Russia.
They're both playing Russia.
This is a tough one.
Got to go to whoever gets work ethic, right? Because they fight over work ethic every game. I feel like it's got to go to whoever gets work ethic. But
so
then
Nystagmus, because he'd get Stonehenge, obviously, and then get work ethic right after that.
You get it right away.
But then who gets Dance to the Aurora? Maybe he doesn't even get Dance to the Aurora. Yeah, like maybe one gets Dance, one gets work ethic. Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's close. I don't know. I think it's hard to pick. Like I've been watching.
This is an easy answer.
You guys streams,
and the answer is this, and it's not because of what you think. So I would say me, but only because halfway through, Zoe's gonna get frustrated, break the keyboard, and walk away from the game.
Hey, I finished my challenge with Canada. I like had no clue what I was doing. Like
273, by the way.
After watching Peppermint Butler and Moy, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that's good. The idea of planting lots of trees to build. I was like, how can you build so many? Dude, I've said to you so many times, a lot of my strategy for Civ is instinct. I act quickly.
Okay, instinctively plant trees.
Move to the next, to the next, to the next. Okay.
I don't want to save the world.
I
have
don't.
Another brain.
If I don't understand it, if I don't intuitively understand it, it takes me a while to master. Okay. Now after that game, I've learned a lot.
Okay.
After going through that horrible waiting that many turns and having the ridiculous 2,500 culture and it's still not winning, I learned a lot. So if I were to do it again, which I might, I have till May 10th, I might try it again just on my own and see. I've learned quite a bit, but you have to flounder about, I think, in Civ, at least a player like myself, who I'm always looking at the big picture, and it makes it hard sometimes for that focused strategy. But we also don't play for win conditions most of the time, right, boys?
True.
Like we're usually like,
recently though, with 2 weeks long, it's getting better. It's getting better.
Yeah.
We did get a victory screen last week, which
we did.
I got to bring a victory screen to the Civ show. That's one of my claim to fame.
Very rare that happens, man. Like the only one I remember, you had what?
5-5s. 5-5s.
Oh, the 5-5. Oh, I think it's a high five. I was like, yeah, dude.
Yeah,
okay.
5-5s.
High five for 5-5s.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The only one I remember is I played Cree, and I got a science victory. I don't know if it was like a 2-week long game or something, but like I ended up getting a science victory as Cree. I think it was like turn 300, so it must have been 2 weeks long. It must have been when we were doing those like 2-week, 3-week long games. I eventually got the science victory as the Cree. It took forever, but that was the last victory screen I remember on the Civ show. I'm sure there was one in between there, but yeah, dude, congrats on you. Like 103 turns, 1 session victory screen, easy peasy, dude. Wow.
Sacred Path, Holy Sites, and your Rainforest are 5-5s. Like, what are you gonna do?
So
what are you gonna do?
The last thing I want to talk about before we move on to like reminiscing about Civilization is we're all Canadian here. How does New Canada feel? I think we've all played. I don't know if Nystagmus has played New Canada yet, but we've all played New Canada almost. Like, damn, dude. They're pretty sweet. I don't know. How do you guys feel about it?
I love them. I think they're like it's the smallest tweak, but when you think about it, well, really they like doubled their bonuses. I think the farming is significant. Now that I'm understanding the value of national parks, and now that I see how you can plant trees to get national parks in terrible territory, I'm like, oh wow, that's convenient. I don't know. I can see Canada as becoming more and more a more competitive contender, especially when you're going for a victory where you just have to kind of play a defensive game. So the enemy's coming to you. I don't think you can pillage national parks, can you?
No, nothing to pillage, really. I don't think.
Once they're there, once they're set up, and Canada seems
there's one way. I think
take the city.
I said this while that's one way.
Yeah.
You could take the city. That would do it. Canada, like the term snowball is just their thing now. I can just see games where like you can start early, your production can be insane, you can build those wonders, and you'll just snowball. Get your hockey rinks, and then holy like with stadiums and all. And I was vampires when I did it, right? And I was like, wow, this is great. I got like vampire castles making me like 18 culture.
Wow,
So,
dude. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So I think they're fantastic.
PB, Mr.
Tier
Sivmath,
one.
how do you feel about Canada? Tier 1. You mean S tier?
So compared to where they were before, they're way better, obviously. Now there's still some of the things that existed before with Canada still exist.
Mhm.
So that the big thing is that their bonus is locked behind builder charges.
But there's a way around it now with Ancestral Hall, at least, right?
Well, you could still go Ancestral Hall before, that's not like a way around it. Like they're just way better with Ancestral Hall because the value you get from builders is a lot more. But you're always going to be getting lots of builders. But the thing is, the tundra cities that you do get, it makes the tiles you end up working better than you would normally work. So you settle like your tundra city, you have 3 builder chargers, you get a farm and 2 mines. That city's good to go. That city's good to go. It's got a 4 food tile to work and 2 like 1 4s or 1 5s if you have apprenticeship. And like that city's going to be good to go for a little while, and it can get another builder and then get a farm triangle, and then it'll be able to actually do stuff. But the thing is though, like there's a lot of like there's like even regular cities, like if you plant them on like plains or if you plant them on grassland, they're not that much worse than that. Now what Canada gets a big advantage there is like those tiles end up being better. So if you think about it, comparing like the terrain types, a flat tundra tile is 1 food, a flat grassland tile is 2 food, a flat plains tile is 1 plains or 1 food and 1 production. So you can say that a plains tile has 1 production on a tundra, and a grassland has 1 food on a tundra. So what a farm does on a grassland is it adds 1 food, a 2 food grassland tile becomes 3 food. But then if you put a farm on a tundra tile with Canada, it has base 1. Then with Canada's ability, it's an extra 2, so it becomes a 4 food tile. And then you do a farm triangle feudalism, it becomes 5 food or something. So that's much better. And it's really, really good. But it's just like a little bit better than the normal terrain. But the thing is, Canada gets to use all the tundra, and that's the big thing. And so the fact that they have a better early game boost now is way better because their late game was previously super good, and now it's even more absurd with like double mounties. And yeah.
Not that you use them, Zoe. Like you use
again,
one national park. I was
stumbling through. Now I know, and I think I'll do much better if I try it before the 10th. I'm gonna do it.
Okay. All right. Fine. Whatever, dude.
Go ahead. No. That's good. I like Canada a lot. They're real good.
The thing I like, or the thing that I when I played Canada was similar to how you're talking about the tiles. Tundra tiles usually only have at max 1 food, and so it's like, yeah, you can plant a farm there, get a lot of food, right? Like you said, if you put a farm triangle, that's 5 food, that's 15 food in total. That's really good. But then it's only food. That's the only thing you have. You don't have that 1 production or 2 production. It's just stuck on 1 just on food, and then. The complete opposite, when it's a hill or a tree, it's basically just only production, pretty much, with only like 1 food or something. So it's with a lot of the tundra tiles, a lot of these Canadian tiles, it's basically you have to go one polar one way, like all food, or the polar opposite of all production. And it's hard to find the balance, especially with those early cities. Do you work the food just to grow your cities, or you work the production to get whatever you need out first? Like whether it's a builder or whether it's like a Mountie or whatever. That's the problem that I found with Canada. It's kind of it's a solvable problem at least, but that's what I find, is that eventually you start to only like, okay, I need to work food for this one tile, and then I need to work like all the other production tiles, but you have to pick and choose, and that's kind of the drawback.
I was gonna say that I thought that's what their drawback used to be, that their cities weren't that big, so that production bonus wasn't that big a deal because you need to work tile. Oh, now they're in a position where they can have a bunch of tundra that they're farming, and then they can also have a bunch of tundra that they've planted trees and put lumber mills on that are making them like five base production. So it'd be one food, 5 production. 5 production is 555. That's that's significant. So their cities, like I found my cities were large. They grew to decent sizes, and because of that, I was actually able to work these high production yields. And then you only want to get so big. That's fine. Oh, I'm gonna at 10, maybe 10's enough, and have one city that goes beyond that. But yeah, so I kind of find what you said is true about them before the patch. Now they actually have the population that, and then late game you'd be like, you know what, I don't need as much food. Let's plant some trees, and we'll get lots of production here. And like, that goes up quick with add-ons, right? That 5 production goes up to whatever. I think there's like three techs. I think 2 or 3 techs that affect lumber mills. So yeah, that's significant. That's significant.
Yeah, here's just the awkward thing though. Like you get all these boosts for farms and mines and stuff like that, but then like the big kicker, like the big payoff for Canada to win is to get like these national parks. That's the normal win con. Now, like with these just generic builder boosts, like your tiles are better, your cities are better, that's really good for a science victory also. But if you have the Mounties, you might as well use them. The thing is, if you want to build national parks and have a ton of national parks like Canada can, you basically want to convert all your land into national parks, right? Because you have double charges on all your Mounties.
Yeah.
What happens to all the mines and the farms that you built, right?
Yeah.
So
that's the problem I'm facing right now. Yeah.
And that's and you can fix that with builders. You can do lots of like terraforming and stuff, but it's just a bit of an awkward place. And I still think it's really powerful, but it's just sort of like a little bit of a line you have to walk, I guess. I don't know.
Speaking of Canada, because I only played them, like I had my game before the change and all that stuff. I just had one question about this because I want to know: has anyone ever gone for a Diplo victory?
I have with Canada, especially with Canada. Yes.
I just saw Saxy Gamer do it in one sitting.
Okay.
It's kind of
impressive.
So
I ran into a problem where I was making like way more diplomatic favor than everybody. Like I would go into every Congress with like 2,500 Diplo favor, and everyone else had like 100. And I would never be able to outvote the -2 victory points the person who's winning, right? And so I was always trying to guess. I was just like, I was wondering what anyone's strategy was, because the other, when we always talk about culture victory for Canada, the other big one though is Diplo victory, because I got up to like 18, no problem, because I just outvoted everybody. And it didn't matter if I can predict what was going to happen in the World Congress. I just had way enough Diplo favor to kind of just like kind of guess based on my neighbors, and then just overpower them. But then when I got to that like really close to the victory condition, I just felt like I was slipping. I don't know if anyone had any strategies.
I find I think now Canada would be even better at Diplo victory, because I'm actually decent at Diplo victory, but I think with Diplo victories there's like 5 to 7 very specific wonders that you must build.
Three wonders.
3. I got
at least 3, but there's a bunch that are very, very helpful, right? Okay. And their production yield, I find, makes it that you can do that pretty good. So yeah, I think their diplomatic is a great victory condition for them.
The thing, so the strategy here is there's two ways you can approach this. One, get to 16 points, then build the Statue of Liberty. Don't go the other way around. 2, if you've already built the Statue of Liberty and you're kind of a SOL, then you vote against yourself to lose 2 diplomatic favors. Since you voted against yourself, you only lose 1, because you get the point for voting in the majority. So you lose 1, and then if you have to predict the other 2 votes. So then overall, you can gain 1 diplomatic point for every Congress. and I told you this too, but just like your cousin, you were stubborn, and you're like, nope, I have enough.
No, but,
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put all my votes into voting for me, and you lost. So, woo.
Well, I messed up on the math because I also got to 19. I built the Statue of Liberty and I got to 19.
Oh, you didn't know that 15 plus 4 was 19? Dang, dude.
Oh no, well, I thought I was gonna win it. I was gonna win a different Congress before that, right?
Oh,
so I timed it.
okay.
So I would win a Congress to get to 16, but I didn't win the Congress, right? And so I got to 19. I was like, oh, maybe I can win by just overpowering everybody at the Congress, which I feel is weird that you can't, right? Like that's the whole point of like getting 20. What's the point of having 2,500 Diplo favor if you can't just overpower people at the World Congress, right? Like.
The votes get super expensive
It
once
gets
you
so
start putting
crazy.
more votes, and like it scales really difficultly because like
Plus
if you
10
get
per
4
vote.
votes like on standard speed, you get 4 votes for like it costs you like
It costs you 10,
30,
then 20.
60?
Okay, so first one's free. Yeah, then 10, then 20, then 30, then 40, then 50. So then if you count all those, that's like 200, not 200, but like 150, I think, for 5 votes. Yeah.
The more votes you have, the more expensive they are, and it just makes it like it makes it really difficult to overpower that.
Yeah, exactly. So let's move on. Let's move on to the evolution of civilization, the main topic for today. Even though we talked about that for a really long time, but so today on Reddit, Anton. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but I'm just going to say Anton, posted a big thank you on Reddit. He posted it as well as on Civ Fanatics, and it seemed like every single Firaxis employee was in the comment section also thanking the Civilization community and telling themselves a personal story about how they started in Civilization, or just a personal story about how this community means so much to them. It seems like it's the end of Civilization 6, or at least that's kind of what they made it out to be with this big thank you to the community. So we kind of want to talk about the entire evolution of Civilization 6 from the beginning, which was in what year? 2016?
2016, right?
2016. All the way to 2021. So Civ 6, Zo, I think me and you were the only ones in this group of 4 people to play vanilla Civ 6, and I remember someone just on Twitter.
I played one game, and then it's
You played one game? That's funny. SG Nomine. I miss vanilla because deleting units for full gold of Scythia. Dude,
I remember
how good
that.
Scythia was when they first came out.
It was so ridiculous. It was such a silly little mix. October 2016. Yeah, because we started our first Civilization endeavor with a show in, I think it was November of 2016.
No, it was the day it came out.
We started. Okay, we started because I
missed the first week though, but it was the day it came out. We started the show. Yeah.
Yeah. You want me to start?
Yeah, go for it.
So at the time too, before Civilization 6 had come out, I know for me personally, like I had been bored for a while with Civ. Like I wasn't playing Civ 5 that much anymore. You guys all know my feelings on Civ 5 World Congress, which is what they should have called it. Just because every game was the same, I found with Civ 5. So I just it was revolutionary when it came out with the hexes over the squares, and there were many interesting things about it. But I just found the game had gotten stale. Like its replayability went away, and a game like Civ, you have to have the replayability, right?
Playing the same game over and over and over again, right? So
yeah. When Civ 6 came out, it was like a breath of fresh air. Like it was just this it's like they kept a lot of the hexes, but they revolutionized the game with the city districts, because now, instead of in Civ 5 you could build 3 cities and just have 3 massive cities, and you could do very well that way. In fact, having the more cities you had, the harder it was to maintain. So, which is still true, but like in a different way. Anyways, with Civ 6 now it was a sprawl. Now it was like a city isn't all in one place. A city is all over the place. It made the map much more interesting, much more engaging interaction with the map. And the civic system I thought was way better than policy cards, rather way better than the previous.
Civ 5 was okay. It was
okay.
It wasn't terrible. It was I would
okay,
say it's dated. It feels dated now, but at the time it felt fine, right?
Like turning culture into a tech tree. That was very cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, so just as always with Civ, you know, you can't go back. I find once you play the next, you can't go back. So yeah, districts were a fantastic addition. I love the policy cards. I thought the way governments worked was much more interesting, as opposed to here's a government with the abilities it gives you. Now it's, you know, you still mix and match it. I found that added layer of complexity really interesting. Like it really allowed you to mix and match things, to either have diversity with your policies or have focus. So that was really revolutionary. And then even the opening civs they chose were cool. And I liked how, you know, everyone had basically 4 abilities. You know, you get a unit, you get a leader, you get your civ, and you get a building. That and that everybody had that. I thought that was really neat. So all things being equal, you know, it is those little things that make the difference with the civs. And none of them seemed like insanely broken. You know, I believe
except Scythia, but you know.
Yeah, except for the Scythia, and that was just silly. Yeah, that you could sell, you could get 2 horses, sell them, get all the gold. Now you don't get anything when you disband.
I thought it was you build 1 horse, you get 2 horses for the price of 1. You sell one of them, and then you buy more, and then you get 3 horses.
Yeah, it was silly. It was obvious. It was an infinite loop. So other than that was silly. But like even great people and the way districts, how that works together. It's just all very impressive. So it was very easy to fall back in love with Civ 6.
Did you play Civ 5 at all, PB? Or did you come right into Civ 6? You didn't play at all. Wow.
No. So I had been eyeing Civ as a game I wanted to play for years. Like even like before Civ 5, like Civ 4, and it was just like, you know how you have those games in your Steam library that are like you buy them when they're on like 80% off and they're just sitting there, but you never play them. Like everyone has those. They have like hundreds of them. So I never actually bought a Civ game, but it was always one of those games in the back of my mind where it's like, I want to play that. Like I want to play that game. I'd probably like it. Like I had friends that played it. And but I just never did. Like Civ 4 went by, then like Civ 5 was coming up, and like I have a couple close friends who played Civ 5, and just like never happened. Like I was either into other games, at other hobbies. Like I'm an aggressive like hobby jumper. And it's just like and like when I get into my hobbies, I get into them. And just Civ, the timing was never right, I guess. And then at one point I saw the Civ Platinum or previous Platinum edition that had Rise and Fall plus all of the leader single leader expansions, plus the base game go on like a wicked sale, and I had money in my Steam wallet for selling Dota items because I didn't play Dota anymore. And I was like, hey, I'm just gonna get Civ. I'm just gonna get it, and I'll load it up on some point. And I played the first game, and I was like, yeah, I don't know.
The first game is always strange. It's like because you're learning it, right? It's tough. It's a big learning curve.
It's got a very steep learning curve.
My first game was Rise and Fall expansion. It was with old Teddy Roosevelt, way before the split between Bull Moose and Rough Rider. And I was playing as like, man, the music in this game is awesome. I love playing this game. I was in a sweet like air fight with my neighbor Persia. And like I was building my spaceports in my terrible tundra cities. And I was like, yeah, like it's like the like I'll be able to like, I don't know what a space victory is, but like I'll try and go to space. And then I was like just starting to build my spaceports, and then turn 500 hits and I lose a score victory to Wilhelmina.
500! Oh my god, you played 500 turns?
I was so bad. Yeah, it
500
was so
score
bad, but I
victory at
played the whole
500,
one, and I was
500.
like, yeah, I don't know about this. So then I read what the actual win cons do, and then my second game I played is Wilhelmina, and I won a space victory, and I was like, okay, like I can get into this, and then like I started doing like you play different civs, play different games, and you get one more turn till like 1, 2 in the morning,
Well, that's it.
and like
Wow, 2 a.m. That's not bad. Damn.
yeah, I need to graduate. Like I was like, I need to graduate my PhD at some point. And I was like, couldn't stay up much later than that. But like it's just like the snowball happened there. That was in 2019.
Okay.
And then I don't know, I just fell in love with the game, and I haven't run into really any burnout. Like I don't play much off stream, but I just don't have a whole lot of time to play games off stream.
Mhm.
Like streaming is my gaming time, and I'm never disappointed that Civ is the game that I signed up to be playing for the majority of the time. So so that's pretty sweet. And yeah, but like yeah, I never actually played Civ 5. Like I played like I don't know if anyone remembers like Caesar. I played Caesar 2. Like I played Age of Empires 2.
Played
Like
a lot
yeah.
of Age of Empires.
Age of
yeah,
Empires.
but like I was terrible at RTSs, like the timing and everything. Like I played Dota, but like the timing of everything. But then like Civ, I got it, and it was like, what's this next turn button? You mean I can like
I can take my time. Whoa.
yeah, and that was like, phew.
Old Age of Empires, man. At some point, though, the computer was just easy to stomp on, right?
Yeah,
They
it was
just
just
gave
really
you the-
bad though. I can't stress how bad at games I am outside of Civ.
I
Like
need to play Dota with you just to experience this. I need to know.
I will find like I hit like 4K MMR in Dota, and I was like, I'm a god. This is as good as this is as good as
Better than me.
ever
Yeah.
gonna
I mean,
be.
damn.
But like yeah, I don't know. I'm just like anything that like a lot of timing stuff and just like not that good at. But then like I saw like Civ had a turn button, and I could like take my time and plan out what I was gonna do, and like my games took so much longer. There's like people who watch my stream know, but it definitely is much more in my wheelhouse as far as trying to be good at things goes.
No, that's good. Rise and Fall came out. Yeah, so like Rise and Fall comes out. It introduces this loyalty system.
Loyalty and governors.
And governors. I don't know how I felt about the loyalty when it first came out. I mean, I know you guys didn't play vanilla. I hate when it first came out. I hated it because it was such a weird change. I'm so used to just having these really sprawled out cities, putting them wherever the hell I want, and then we're playing. I remember this now. We were playing against Drek, right? And I was planting my cities, and suddenly I just lost it. And I'm like, what happened? Like, right? And then later on, we find out there's this mechanic called loyalty, and like, how does loyalty work? And nobody knew. It took so long to understand, and I still don't understand loyalty to a certain point. But yeah, I hated it at first. Now I'm okay with it because it makes sense, especially historically. Like, you don't want to have a city like way out there unless you're Denmark. But you know, whatever.
I'm just gonna tell whatever they did in Civ 4 though, right? Because in Civ 4 you can lose
Yeah,
cities.
it was the
because,
Civ
like, culture.
Yeah, Civ 4
It was.
content.
I didn't know that.
Culture
Yeah.
of the other Civ next to you could like move people. It would say basically if you hovered over a city, it would tell you what the demographics of the city was in Civ 4. So like if you were like the German Empire, you'd be like 60% German, and then if the Dutch were next to, it'd be like 30% Dutch. And then part of the happiness would be like, we want to join our compatriots in the other country or something like that. And so if enough of them moved into your cities, you could theoretically lose it to the other city. And
Borders.
it's part of like basically in Civ 4, if you had a high enough culture output, you turned into Eleanor.
Borders in Civ 4 were very fluid. They snaked around, and they could be pushed back and forth. And that was basically, you would slowly, like basically a culture of attrition, and you would slowly push the enemy culture back. And like great people in Civ 4, like the artist, one of his main abilities was like a culture bomb. So he dropped like 3,000 culture, and it would explode your borders out. So culture, that's for me why I still associate the culture and the border because of Civ 4. That as your borders grew, as your culture grew, and every time you would hit this thing. And if your culture went over the enemy city, eventually you would flip the cities.
There were no districts, but there were still like farms and stuff. And I remember you could actually like there were no building charges. You can build a builder and just tell it to build things.
You do that Civ
on
5
auto.
too. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
awesome.
and on auto, and it would just run around making improvements
Yeah.
the entire
Yeah.
game and never go away.
Yeah, build charges is a good idea.
A lot of people hate that, but I think it's a good idea too.
I do hate
I think
it, but
it's a good idea.
it's resource
No.
management.
Two things.
Yeah,
One,
exactly.
Management.
build charges, and then two, getting rid of stacks.
Yeah,
Stacks like annoyed the hell out of me. Like the fact that I was like, oh look, my whole stack of army on itself, and then it would automatically choose the weakest thing to kill in the next attack thing. And then you always have this weird thing where you see an archer kill a tank for some reason. And it's just
the
like
stack was crazy against, like, if you had a catapult, you'd hit everything on the stack. So you could stack your army up, and when you attacked, it'd be like this massive attack. They'd all attack at once, and it was insane. The only way to defend against stack was another stack. But then when you got bombers hit like everything in the stack. That was probably the best thing they got rid of. It's Civ 5. The stack.
There's only one thing I want them to bring back from Civ 4, and that's to make like the other Civs like a vassal or something like that. Like,
I love that. That was
Civ
cool.
5 had puppets. It was kind of similar.
No,
Yeah.
vassals was just simple. It was a simple. You are my Civ. You declare war on who I declare war on. You can't declare war on me. It was just a simple, and it was like, you know, it's either this or you're dead. It's like, all right, I'll take vassalage. But anyways, we were talking about Storm. How Storm?
Yeah, the next one, Gathering Storm, and that's when Canada got announced and they got released. Do you remember what your reaction was when you first heard that Canada was coming out for them?
Very pleased. My new favorite Civ was coming out. I didn't care if they were garbage or not. I was very excited when I heard. Just like I bet Sarge was excited when he heard Australia was going to be released. You know, like you get excited when it's and especially Canada's never been in Civ.
Yeah,
right.
Never.
Not officially. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Representation
so
is
it was
always
very
great.
exciting.
mm-hmm.
In Gathering Storm, they introduced the weather, the natural disasters, power, and consumable resources. World Congress, they brought back World Congress, but in a completely different way than it was in Civ 5. And then a couple other things like canals and dams and whatnot. Game modes were New Frontier Pass.
Where's that Frontier Pass? Okay,
that's Frontier Pass. We're not there yet.
So
it was the inspiration for the first game mode in Frontier Pass.
Yeah,
right?
Apocalypse
like,
mode. That's right.
The disasters were actually brought in, droughts, tornadoes, flooding, things like that. I kind of like the global warming thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like it's either not affecting you at all or it's flooding everything, right? Like it's not like a slow moving thing. It's like, oh, it's not bothering me at all, and then all of a sudden all your cities are flooded and nothing you can do about it. You're like suddenly like, oh my god, I forgot to fast tech the computer so I could build flood barriers, and it appears that like it's just easier to build flood barriers than to actually like not pollute the planet. And so like no one ever like goes into carbon whatever trying to scrub the carbon out of the air and stuff like that. No one like does that.
It's so far. You need to have such good culture. You need to get there before anything happens in the environment. It's
by the way, and it's so useless. It doesn't really do
it's
much.
actually good. Like it gives you a lot of diplomatic favor, which you could have done as Canada, by the way.
It's useless in the sense of what it's supposed to do, which is like stop global warming.
Yes. Yeah, it can't go back. You can prevent it going forward, but you can't go back. What you've done is written in history. You can't take it back, Nystagmus. Then after Gathering Storm, we had the New Frontier Pass. PB, we've all said our piece about New Frontier Pass, but let's hear your piece on the New Frontier Pass and kind of how it affected your Civilization play. Because I think you started streaming before the New Frontier Pass. Is that right?
Yeah, like it was within a month or two. Like my first stream, which we just passed the 1 year anniversary of, was April 27th, 2020. And when was the first New Frontier patch? Was it June?
I
No,
thought
it must have been May. It
April.
must have been May. It must have been May because April was the last one. Because the April patch was the last one that they
I
did.
swear it
in,
was
like,
April or
February
March,
or
but I'll
something,
double
or March, yeah.
check that one. Hold on. Civ 6 New Frontier Pass. It came out.
I think it was May. But either way,
May 2020. Yeah, you're right. May 2020. Yep.
So I had been playing like Gathering Storm for a decent amount of time at that point because I played Rise and Fall for a little while and then it got to the point I was like, yeah, I should probably get Gathering Storm because I'd watched Quill play it, I'd watched Potato play it, and I wasn't sure how would like the accumulating resources change, but I wanted the expanded tech trees, I wanted the civs, and I started playing it and I loved it even more. But then New Frontier Pass came, and like I'll admit I was a little like skeptical at first. I was excited for new content, but I was like, oh, this like pass modes or like the seasons pass thing seems like a little weird. I'm not used to it because like in my because like from Dota, like you're used to like constant updates and stuff like that. But with like like I played like Roller Coaster Tycoon and all those others where they have like discrete expansions.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
AoE also like had Conquerors.
StarCraft had that.
Yeah. So I was used to expansions, but it's like, oh, like I don't know, like I'll like content is cool. I like playing new games. And I loved it. I love just getting new civs, getting constant updates. I love the update videos. The update videos were amazing.
They're so good.
And then like inadvertently, like I don't know what happened, but people just started like trickling into my stream, and then like there weren't a whole lot of people streaming when I normally did, and I was like able to stream relatively consistently because like no one's like leaving home at that point in history. And it like thanks to New Frontier Pass, I'm where I am now streaming wise. I would be nowhere near where I would be without it, obviously.
Partner, holla
Yeah.
holla, get dollar.
Holla holla, get pound. But yeah, it's every patch that came from New Frontier Pass just got better and better and better. I love like some game modes I like more than others, but there's other players
Naturally.
that like the game modes that I don't like, and like they don't like the game modes that I do like, and there's just so many different ways to customize your games. Like Civ 6 is just gonna be so much fun to play for such a long time, just like in large part because of all the things that they added in New Frontier Pass. And then if Civ 6 does end up being done being patched, which it sounds like there's a high likelihood. If that's the case after this, like they just do a big balanced patch, add some more units to change up combat for the rest of the game, be like, okay, here's like basically a whole new game to explore. We're out by have fun with that for X number of years until Civ 7. And yeah, like every game I play of Civ, every new game since like New Frontier Pass started just gets better and better. It's I don't know, it's amazing. I love it. Secret Societies is great game mode.
Make it a part of Civ. Make it a regular part of Civ. I think my favorite part about the game modes is like when you play like Vector Cat's challenges and like you're not in control of like what game modes he's gonna choose, and he gives you like these random ones. He gives you like, here's dramatic ages, and here's apocalypse mode, and here's shuffle, and here's this, and you're like, crap. Those are game modes that I would never play on my own, but it's a good challenge, right? And everyone's playing it, so it's like, damn, I don't want to get FOMO. I'll play it too. Like, damn. So you play it, and then you play this challenge, and you're just doing different strategies you've never done before because you have these game modes on. You look at civs differently. You look at like, oh, should I really be building this campus right now, or should I be building an encampment because these zombies are coming at me and I really don't want to die? So yeah, dude, I think the amount of content that came out of New Frontier Pass is just, it's more than more than what they've released, but it's what the community has done with it as well. That's my favorite part of New Frontier Pass. Is just like this whole community really came together and was like, okay, we're gonna embrace this. We're gonna make all this new content for not only the content creators, but for everybody playing Civilization. So shout out to you, Vector Cat, for doing what you do, because I think what you do is incredible, and I hope you never stop. Free shout
I need
out.
to
There
play
you go.
more challenge games. Like I'm in a place right now where I really love setting up my own games.
Yeah.
And like rolling my own seeds and stuff. But once I like play all the new civs and I do all the things I want to do, and there's a long list of things I want to do with civ right now. Like it's like that excitement isn't going away anytime soon. But like those challenge games I think will be really good. I just have a dire fear of like comparing to other people.
Why? You're good. You are good at the game, Peppermint Butler.
But still, I don't want like everybody coming in as like, oh, like he did really good at the challenge. Like he must be super duper good, and then like he's much better than this other person, and like
yeah,
and just like it's pressure, and I feel like uncomfortable like getting compared to like other people, just like and like even if they say that like, oh, I like if someone like comes up and says like, oh, you're so much better than this other person at this, and like that, like that's like I don't know what to say to that.
See,
I
that's
feel
why
like
you gotta
I'm
do
too.
what I do. Everyone makes fun of me for like making fun of myself, but it gives me a perfect out. I'm streaming, and hey man, why didn't you do that? Because I suck. Like and when I'm in my solo stream, like, why didn't you do this? I'm like, because I'm not good at the game.
That's normally what I do because I don't care. But then, like, if someone says like, "Oh, you're so good, you did that, so smart," it's like I'm stun locked. Like I don't know what to do at that point. I can't say like, "Oh yeah, you're right, I am so good." Like I can't do that. Like I don't know. It's an awkward spot I've put myself in by like actually being decent at a video game.
Wow. Sorry to introduce you as the literal god. Then I realized my huge mistake, and that's why I like face palmed. I was like, "Oh, geez, I just walked into that trap."
No. It's okay. It's okay. Like I'm used to it at this point. No. It's, you see what I mean? Like you see, like
Yeah,
you
okay,
see what I have to
it.
deal with. You see what I have to deal with? No.
I have to deal with being good and being called good all the time, and just like I can't claim that I suck. I can't make mistakes anymore, Moy. I have to be perfect. I have to be on my game all the time. Once people find out that I reroll 100 times for one map, they're gonna think I'm a phony. What am I gonna do, Moy?
Big pony.
Imposter syndrome is a real thing. But yeah, I don't know. I just like self-deprecation is like that's my wheelhouse. Like it's my specialty, and it's like
Don't take that. That's mine, man.
hey, maybe it's a Canadian thing. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Bose does it too, I realize though too. But he's from California. It's basically Canadian. It's the same
Yeah,
thing.
I think I've heard he lives near like Redding, California. I'm pretty sure it's near Garberville. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Over my
yeah.
head, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Must be a Canada/Garberville thing.
Maybe.
No one's gonna get that, and then he's gonna listen to this or watch this and be like, "I hate that guy."
I just want to give an opportunity for anybody if you want to say anything before we wrap it up, whether it's about Civilization or anything. Peppermint Butler, why don't you start?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Thanks for having me on. I always love coming on to like play and be on the podcast. This is like second time on now. Like I think one of the first things that really got the whole like Civ community rolling thing, or like carried the snowball that the New Frontier Pass started, was the Civ Give, and that was you guys like reaching out about that, and that was a lot of fun. So getting on the podcast and playing there was just like a great experience, and like growth in like getting viewers and followers and stuff is cool, but like but that's not any of the reason why I like to stream or interact with people. It's just like hanging out like this, hanging out with chat, hanging out in Discord. It's extremely valuable, especially in these times. And the fact that that's happened like all because of Civ is awesome. So there's a lot of indirect stuff outside of just gameplay that Civ has done for everyone over like not only the past year, but like since it's come out. And we're lucky to be one of those game communities that's extremely positive to be in, because that's hard to find these days.
Super hard,
especially on Twitch. And so
Gamers?
yeah, even
say it. So.
like yeah, just even people in chat, if you're watching, for being awesome, thank you. Like you're like even more important than us for like why this community's so good. And yeah, it's like Civ brought us together, but it's the community that built everyone up. So it's pretty, I don't know, it's just real cool. But yeah, I don't know. I love playing Civ, especially after New Frontier Pass though. So as far as the Civ retrospective goes, like, oh boy, it's real good.
Can't wait for Civ 7, huh? All those new mechanics that Peppermint Brother has to learn again. What do we do?
I'm gonna be
I'm
gonna be one of like, you know, like the people who were stuck on Civ 5 for a while, like when Civ 6 come out.
Oh,
I feel like that's
yeah.
I feel like that's gonna be me. Like Civ 7 comes out in like 20 years and be like, I'm not done all the playthroughs I want to do in Civ 6 yet. Like, why are you releasing this game already?
Maybe you'll be our first guest for Civ 7 because then we're all on even foot. Like, you can't be better than us anymore. Just like, hey, this is our chance to be better than Peppermint Brother. Maybe.
Probably. You guys have jumped civs before. It'll be my first time jumping to a new civ, so I'd probably be an absolute on fire garbage can.
Well, if you're a garbage can, then we're probably dumpster because it's the bigger garbage can.
I'm sure one of us just stumble into a victory. The new victory condition, you just stumble into it, don't even understand how it works.
Economic victory. So you just mean I have to get money? What? So easy. Zoe or Nystagmus, any final words before we end off today?
Lead the way, Nystagmus.
No, I thought the New Frontier Pass was great. You know, this is my ever since you guys invited me onto the TheCivShow, it was great too. So looking back on it now, man, that was a long year. And so it was a good year
for you, especially.
Year.
I would imagine. Yeah.
It definitely took my mind off a lot of things because of everything that's happening as well too. So I haven't that much more to add than that. So thanks for everyone for being a great community out on chat.
So,
I guess my one quick comment I was going to make about Rise and Fall that I didn't make was I felt all in all it was good. It was good improvements, but it was relatively tame. It wasn't like revolutionary. And Civ, I still up until that point wasn't super fond of the way that they were doing the pay to download. You know, get Australia, get Nubia, you know, get the Aztecs, $10. That I like that Rise and Fall had a couple civs with it, but that strategy not too familiar or not too liking. Then with the Frontier Pass, that's where for a couple reasons I think it was significant. First of all, on a meta level, you know, me and Moy came into our own when the Frontier Pass was coming out, and you know, we had many months of talks leading up to this coming together, and at the TheCivShow in particular, even just like, what are we going to call it? And it's just like, let's just keep it simple, you know.
Let's have a placeholder. Let's just call it the TheCivShow.
Yeah, we'll call it the TheCivShow.
We'll leave that for now. We'll have a better name later.
And if a better name, that's like
really funny.
Like, well, this is what we do.
It's legitimately the conversation we had.
Yeah. You know, and at first we had different hosts. We were trying to figure it out. And then when Nystagmus joined, you know, Nystagmus is also my cousin. So we've known each other our entire lives, and we both share the identical name, Lorenzo Soma, you know. So, which I love, you know, I love my cousin. And this was something that we were able to do together. And like, we've gotten even more close. We were already, I'd say, pretty close, but we'd only see each other, you know, once a year, maybe, you know. So with the TheCivShow, and because with Frontier Pass coming out and the TheCivShow coming together, I get to see Nystagmus every week, which is just awesome. Yeah, and it has been quite the frontier of a journey. I think that Fraxis upped their marketing significantly. I think that something clicked at Fraxis that you know, they had an authentic product that everyone loved, but there was, I think, a bit of a, at least in my experience, a bit of a disconnect. You know, I'm sure they're doing lots of stuff with the community, but like Frontier Pass was like total change. Just the mindset, very engaging. Their entire strategy was based on sort of the trial and error, getting feedback, listening to their customers. That's good business. That's what business is supposed to do. And they did it exceptionally well. And it wasn't that they went and got, a football star or a scholar or whatever to do promotions for them. They got the team that, made the game. And we fell in love with all the updates and the creativity and the costumes and all of that stuff. It wasn't big Hollywood production, but it still looked good.
Mhm.
And they helped us get it really excited. It was a nice feedback loop. And then even for us here at the Civ Show, and the whole Civ community, like it really Frontier Pass, this is what brought us this new level, because it was like, they were presenting us with content to make. We got to talk about this. We got to talk about that. You can't cover it in just 1 week. This is going to take weeks to talk about. And that was all Frontier Pass. So it was a great investment. Civ has been a great investment. If you add up, Civ's like $200, right? If you think about all the installments, $250 Canadian, right?
Yeah.
If you think about all the installments that we paid, but we paid it willingly, and it was an investment. It was worth it. The time that we got out of it has been phenomenal. All of us, everyone watching this right now, we just got asked the question, how many hours of the game?
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say that.
Right. And, I know I leave my computer on, so my number is not always accurate, but right now I'm at 3,000 hours.
3,000?
3,000 hours. Now, mind you, like I said, I've had days where Civ is just on my computer and the game's open and I don't close it. I've had like 3-4 days in a row where that's the case. I would guess my actual gameplay is probably closer to the 2,000 hour mark.
Still significant. I have 964, Zoe.
Yeah.
Not even. I thought that was a lot. You have way more than me.
I have maybe 1,500, maybe 15, but a significant, because I only have like a third of the achievements, right? So I know that I leave Civ on in the background. I think a lot of people do that, right?
I do that too, and I'm at 2,200, but still, like I was gonna say that though, like if you look at a cost per hour played, for all of your games, I think Civ, even though like if you've like bought all the expansions, I think it still stacks up pretty well compared to a lot of other games.
It was a worthy investment. Like it's not like if I look at how much I spent on World of Warcraft, for instance, back when I used to play World of Warcraft, like it was way more, and I don't think I really got the fun of it, because Civ, you got to think those types of games, those grind games, you're not really thinking a lot of the time. You're just out there. This was it's brought me a great deal of joy.
All we have to do is just kill the one little guys in the forest, and we can get up to the ultimate level and never be able to be killed. How many, Cartman? 1,589,000,000.
Killing boards.
3 weeks, 7 days, 3 weeks, 4 days, whatever. If we only stop, we have a bathroom.
Oh, we finally beat him. What do we do? Now we can play the game.
He needs it for his MP points.
So anyways, so so it brought us all together. So it's been spectacular. I don't know, I'm sure there was another point, but I've rambled on long enough.
Yeah, why don't we wrap this up? We're running out of time here. We've gone over.
Let's wrap it up. I
have one extra point to that. So Fraxis unleashed their secret weapon on us for marketing. Carl.
Yeah. Nailed it. Yes.
Yeah. Carl is so
what
great.
A god,
you
can
see
God, what a guy.
I feel like everyone in the Civ community can sort of put like their own fingerprints a little bit on like how Civ has changed over the past like year or two, and I feel like a large portion of that is just Carl being in everyone's Twitch chat and on Reddit and on like Civ fanatics and stuff like that. So I don't know, like Carl,
he is the Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we get into our social medias and stuff, so Peppermint Butler, please, why don't you tell the community and all the listeners where people can find your content?
You can find me primarily on Twitch. I will say hi in chat. You can click on me there. If you
There you
don't
go.
know me, I stream Tuesday, Thursday nights, Saturday, Sunday mornings. We also do have a YouTube that my sister has been excellently putting together stuff for. Like the most recent video is hilarious. And
It's a good
that's
one, yeah.
so that's going to be consistently updated now that things have settled down a little bit for us. And she's moved into her new place. Though I will be moving to a new place within the next month or two. So I don't know. Everything is just wild.
Wow.
But yeah, primarily Twitch and I guess YouTube. But also I spend a lot of time in my Discord, which you can find through my Twitch link. And you cannot find me on Twitter because I am scared of it.
You should be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scary place.
You should be.
Mhm.
You should be.
So, take it away.
Speaking of should be, Moy and Twitter, Moy, I think you should be telling us about how we have the Twitter and what that bird does.
Well, you should be following us on the should be Twitter because you should be keeping up to date with our should be up to date content on Twitter as it should be.
That was so articulate and concise.
Thank you.
Uh,
At
yes.
the TheCivShow, Twitter, at the
At
TheCivShow.
the
There it is.
Show, at the Civ Show. And then Nystagmus, speaking of concise, how are those test tube experiments coming?
They're coming along good. I should be having a new video coming out at any point now. I'm going to just keep the trend going. You should be checking out our YouTube channel, and you should be ringing the bell and subscribing. So
Should
Nice.
be ringing that bell.
Should be,
Ring that bell. Speaking of bells,
You are Bell.
and
You're
of course,
Bell End.
if you're
Ho,
looking
ho.
for the more intimate connection to the Civ Show community, you can connect with us on our Discord channel. It is the watering hole of the Civ Show community where we come together and meet and talk about Civ and share memes and talk about the wackiest stuff and play games together. We have a lot of community members just coming together in casual multiplayer. You don't have to worry about any sharks in here with their game genies. So join us on our Discord. And then, of course, we now have 5 days of the Civ Show awesomeness, beginning every Sunday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here on Twitch. We have the actual Civ Show. This next week, we will have the Inquisitive Otter.
Yeah.
And I'm
New
not
guest
sure
type. Let's go.
if he's going to make a scenario for us or what the plan is for that, but I'm sure it'll be an interesting game either way. On Mondays, normally, I don't know if we may still be in Nystagmus is a doctor, in real life, and he's saving lives with vaccines right now. So he may be volunteering on Mondays to do that. But normally on Mondays, you can join us for afternoon tea at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Nystagmus. Razing Zozo does Good Morning Amenities 10 a.m. every Tuesday Eastern Standard Time. And then you can join Moy at night every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Crack a beer and crack some laughs because Moy is just so funny at night.
Didn't hint
only at
sarcasm
night.
in that voice at all.
Yeah.
It was genuine as heck.
There was,
Oh, yeah.
There's some occasional moments, Moy, when I tune into your show and I go, like I'll do it
Hey,
out like
in
one of
internet
those
speak,
little, like,
that's a really good laugh.
Yeah.
Just breathing
Yeah.
out your nose a little bit
That's
harder.
me, like,
That's all you
on
need,
the
baby.
floor.
That's all I ask for.
And then, of course, we wrap up our weeks with the Civ podcast every Thursday here at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. So 5 days of Civ fun, and that's it. That's all I got for you. Is that it, boys?
That's it.
We're gonna go,
Thank you.
We're gonna go raid somebody.
We're gonna go
Maybe a
raid foibles.
You know our
We're gonna
buddy
raid foibles. Thanks, Peppermint Butler, for
champ.
being on. Really appreciate it, dude. We'll hope to see you in your streams, and we
Yeah,
hope
you
you
were
have the
great,
most
man.
success in
My
your future
pleasure.
endeavors.
Always my pleasure. Yeah, thanks again for having me on. Thanks for Axis for everything you've done for forever, and especially in the past year, it's been awesome. It's been a absolute joy in an otherwise an otherwise not amazing circumstance for the past year. So it's, yeah.
We're gonna all meet together, man. We'll all
Eventually.
come together. All right, when this is done. Well, you live in Toronto, right? So I'm in Hamilton, practically down the street.
I'm pointing at Moy's house. I could walk to Moy's house in like half an hour.
He's got a telescope pointed at Moy's window most of the time.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hey, let me know. I'll give you a show next time. I'll see you guys on Sunday with Inquisitive Honor. Have a good one. Let's go raid foibles. Bye.
Good night.
Bye, everyone.